Let me ask you, I mean, some parts of Obamacare, we hear that the replacement will retain.
Yeah, well, I think, the big issue is the pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
That's a big issue, and I think Republicans believe that we need to maintain pre-existing conditions, but I do also think that comes with the big issue of how we pay for it. That's a big price tag on the pre-existing condition part. But that's where I think at the end of the day, you've got to open up the free market more and more to make insurance companies compete. There's very little competition in the insurance industry because you've got a dominant force in each state to a degree. And I think opening that up and letting the free market sort of dictate it is a much more important piece of it.
Okay.
So again, those three things: the cap on the lawsuits, and health savings accounts, and
well, the cap. So like North Carolina enacted a cap on medical malpractice lawsuits several years ago.
Right.
Are you aware of that?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
And you think that should be done similarly nationwide?
Right. I think
Okay,
if the federal government's going to dictate that.
Well, but our nation set up the courts.
Yes.
To give people a place to go.
Sure.
When they have a dispute.
That's correct.
The founding fathers thought that was better than people taking guns to each other.
Correct.
So when you start limiting a person's ability to sue or to collect damages when they're harmed, I mean, when does that start encroaching on their rights to have the government make sure everybody plays fair?
Well, and I agree, and I think you have to trust the system of the courts, and in the sense that as awards are made or decisions are made, even in a lawsuit, a liability lawsuit, and you have a jury, I think the citizens can make those decisions. But I think putting a cap on what those ranges would be, I mean, we set caps on other things, if you will, in the judiciary as to what would be a fair sentence, what would be certain rules that the judges make those decisions.
Yeah, that's a criminal matter. But,
right, it is. But I guess my point is somebody kind of sets, the legislative body does set what the limits are, or the roles would be. And I think for them to set a cap on the malpractice suits would certainly bring down the price of the insurance. Okay. That has been a big piece. And that's the part that I think people are getting frustrated with. And I hear this even looking at Congress. So many of the things that are being done and even presented in this so-called skinny repeal or whatever are not going to bring down the cost of premiums. Okay. And I think the American people have got to see some relief. I know we've seen at First Baptist Church Charlotte, where I pastored and led, we've seen dramatic increases in the cost of our health insurance premiums. And we provide insurance for our employees at First Baptist. And we utilize a health savings account piece with that premium as well. But my point is that, again, we've got to get that under control, because I think it's stymieing businesses. I think when you've got to operate within a budget, and the bigger chunk of your budget is going to health insurance premiums every year, that's a serious matter that I think stymies the economy.